Well, hello and welcome to episode number 7 of the Travel Buzz podcast. We're talking here on July 29th, 2023. And this is going to be part A, I'm calling it, of a 4-part podcast that I will release individually this week. And this one's going to be a little different, as I am going to try and do some daily updates while I am here traveling here this week with my family at Disneyland in Southern California. And we're going to have 4 different days of updates here from the Disneyland parks. If you're watching our podcast here on YouTube, we don't have a video version this week, but we would still love it if you would subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Enjoy the show, everyone. Well, welcome to episode number 7, everyone, of the Travel Buzz podcast. I'm here live from Disneyland. I'm John Arthur, your host here on the show, and this week we're going to have some live updates from the Disneyland Resort. Now, before I do start here on this first update for today, I want to remind you to check out our sponsor, Big Dreams Travel, and support them, as they're the ones who make our show possible. At Big Dreams Travel, their goal is to help your family have the vacation of your dreams while they do all of the work. Their dream designers will work with you from start to finish and help you through all of the important aspects of your vacation, wherever that may take you. Contact them to get a no-obligation quote for any vacation destination you may have interest in. You can visit them at www.bigdreamstravelusa.com. So I will try to just pop in here throughout the day and give some updates on what we are experiencing here at Disneyland. This is our first trip with our whole family here. And so we are doing some first-time things, but I think that will give a nice perspective for any of you planning a trip to Disneyland. So we got up this morning, and we are staying at the Disneyland Hotel, which I will probably talk a little bit about as we go through these updates, but ended up staying here and just love the convenience factor of walking right into downtown Disney and being at the parks very early and being able to use the early entry. Of course, early entry here at Disneyland is only for the 3 on-site hotels, or the 3 Disney-owned hotels: Disneyland Hotel, Paradise Pier, and the Grand Californian. So there's not a lot of people using that early entry time. Right now it's from 7:30 to 8 because the park opens at 8 for regular day guests. And those people are spread out between both Disneyland Park and Disney's California Adventure. So we got up and we left our room here at the Disneyland Hotel at about 6:40. It took us about 5 minutes to get over into the security line to head into downtown Disney. There were probably 75 people or so in front of us at security, and we got there about 6:45. They did open security at about 7:02. I'd heard they would open at 7, so they were just a couple minutes behind that. But we were through security in less than 5 minutes, so they were able to do that. I will say, I think if we would have been maybe 5 or 10 minutes later getting to that security spot, we would have been quite a ways further back in the line. But we ended up being in pretty good shape. By the time we walked through downtown Disney, we got over to we started walking through downtown Disney about 7:08, and we ended up to the turnstiles at about 7:14. So it took us about 6 minutes to get through downtown Disney and over to the gates of Disneyland Park. They were already letting people in from off of Harbor, which is the opposite side of the Esplanade. Those are more the day guest people that have parked over in the parking structures and lots on that side. People coming from a majority of the off-site hotels, they will all enter off of Harbor. Of course, most of these people, or all of these people, wouldn't have early entry, but they were letting them in. I had heard they kind of let hotel guests usually get a little earlier start. It did not appear that was the case today. We'll see how that is. We're certainly going to use other entry our other mornings here. But we were at the turnstiles at 7:14. They opened the park and let us in at about 7:23. So it was not too long after we got there that they let us in. And so we were down Main Street. We got down Main Street and waited on the far right-hand side is where early entry will go. And they checked our hotel reservation, and we did make it through there at about 7:28. So we did have to wait at a little rope for about 2 minutes before they let the early entry folks into the parks. We, with the ages of our kids, we decided to not do the Fantasyland strategy today. I think we are another day of this trip just to try it out, but we decided to go on into Tomorrowland today. They wanted to start with Space Mountain, so we did start with Space Mountain. We were on and off. We were on in about less than a 5-minute wait. Most of that is just walking through the queue. We made it over to Matterhorn at about 7:47 once we had ridden Space. Matterhorn was not open at the time. They did have a delayed opening, but there were maybe 2 other parties hanging around. I think the cast members had told them give it just a couple minutes, and Matterhorn had opened by 7:50. So it was about 3 minutes is all we had to. We just kind of looked around the area and those kind of things, and Matterhorn opened at about 7:50. So we did get a ride in on Matterhorn, and we walked back towards the hub. And about the time we were getting to the hub, the the non-early entry crowd was being released into the park. So it was 8 o'clock, and we had already done Space and Matterhorn. Of course, you can do probably more rides than that if you go the Fantasyland route, but we just didn't want to do that today. And so we took a few PhotoPass pics at the castle, and then headed over to use our first lightning lane of the day. We had made a lightning lane as soon as we got in the park for Indiana Jones, was able to make it for 8 to 9. We went ahead and decided to do that. Normally, we probably wouldn't make those that early in the day and do some rides with no line, but we're going back to DCA this evening, so we were going to knock out some rides this morning at Disneyland, and we did Indiana Jones. It was really, really good. We loved it. It was my favorite ride of the 3 big ones we did right there at Rope Drop. Cool special effects, not quite as rough on you as riding Dinosaur at Disney World, but same ride system. And so we really liked that. It was about an 8-minute wait with the lightning lane. The posted wait at the time was, I think, 25. We were off of there and over to Big Thunder Mountain by 8:30. And this was kind of our last headliner attraction of the morning. We did that standby with about a 7-minute wait. So very quick to load on Big Thunder. That was at about 8:30. And we really, really liked that one. That the last lift hill is really cool. We enjoyed getting to see that. Certainly different than Disney World. We headed over next to Haunted Mansion. So about 8:50, we got on Haunted Mansion and had a good ride there. Waited about 5 minutes to get on that one. So the park's been open for about an hour at this point. And with early entry, again, we did Space, Matterhorn, Indiana Jones, Big Thunder Mountain, and Haunted Mansion all in the first hour and a half. Granted, our Indiana Jones was with a lightning lane, so do keep that in mind, but that was with a lightning lane. When we used our Indiana Jones, we went ahead and booked another lightning lane, and we did do that for Space because our kids wanted to do Space again. We're Space Mountain fanatics in our family, and so we did that. And so at about 9:15, that Space Mountain lightning lane was ready to go. We went over there, only waited about 3 minutes, so it was super quick to get in and out there with the lightning lane. And then at about 9:25, went over to Galactic Grill and ordered just a breakfast burrito for some of us to share. And we got the power pack for my youngest son because he's allergic to eggs, and that's really all they had that don't have eggs. And so had some breakfast items there. The breakfast burrito was delicious there. My oldest son and I split that. Has sausage and bacon and eggs and a hash brown inside of it. So just really, really good breakfast burrito. I think it cost $10.99. And then the power pack is also a good deal. It was $5.99, and it comes with it's like a kid's meal, so it comes with a soda. So I was able to get a Coke Zero with it to a little pick me up there in the morning as my coffee from 6:30 was kind of wearing off. And so got a little Coke Zero, and that was all for only $5.99. And he also got a yogurt that he wanted, and a cutie. I'm trying to think of what else was in there, and some goldfish were in there, and some carrot sticks. So all that for $5.99 is not a bad deal. After a little food, we went over to do the teacups. We did that quickly. And then we headed to the Finding Nemo subs. This was only posted as 5 minutes. It took us about 15 or 20 to get through the line. But again, this one is such a slow loader. That's really most of it. Is we only had to wait through 1 or 2 cycles of subs that came through, but they're just so slow loading and unloading, and they were doing it all from the same platform. So that took us about 20 minutes, even though it was posted 5. Really a cool ride. I think we enjoyed the ride. My wife's a little claustrophobic. She said she was not getting on this one again, which I understand if you're claustrophobic. But it was a cool ride, and I thought, pretty well done actually, and a long ride. So we enjoyed that for the first time, or everybody but my wife. And then we went over because we had picked up another lightning lane for Big Thunder. We all wanted to do Big Thunder again. And so we picked up a lightning lane, and at some point while we were on Finding Nemo, it must have gone down because we ended up with an anytime or a multi-experience pass that could be used at Big Thunder, or a whole list of other attractions around. And what I like about Disneyland is you can use them in either park. So we talked about, do we want to go do Big Thunder because it was back up at the time, or do we want to save that multi-experience and use it for something this evening? And we decided to save it because I think we're going to really like Incredicoaster. And so we can lightning lane Incredicoaster, but these multi-experience passes, they don't count against. We can do a lightning lane for Incredicoaster, and we can use this multi-experience pass for Incredicoaster. So we can actually get multiple rides. Whereas if you're just booking a lightning lane for a ride, you can, of course, only do it one time. So we saved that. We were over on that side, so we went and did Winnie the Pooh. About a 3-minute wait. There's not many people back there right now with Splash Mountain being closed and being turned into Tiana's. So we did Winnie the Pooh. Pretty similar to Disney World, but we just found the animatronics and the characters and just all the details in that ride were so much more vivid. The colors were really good. It looks like the ride was just really fresh, which I appreciate on those. We walked back across the park to Autopia because we had gotten a lightning lane for that. As we were walking across, my oldest son said, "This park seems a lot smaller than Magic Kingdom." And I said, "Yeah, and so even he picked up on that, and we picked up. We kind of crossed the park back and forth several times this morning, but it doesn't seem like a ton of walking, just because the park is so compact. If you're used to Disney World parks, and so we liked that. So we got over to Autopia and got in line and went through and scanned our lightning lanes, and about 30 seconds after we scanned our lightning lanes, they started ushering us down the exit ramp. And we thought that was a little strange, and turns out the ride had shut down. There wasn't great communication on what was actually happening. We were just allowed to leave the ride. I did go back to the entrance and ask the cast member that was there, do we get our lightning lane back? We had already scanned in, and he acted completely confused and asked another cast member who was just as confused, and they finally just said, go to guest. There's a guest experience umbrella right around the corner. So I did go over there. Waited 3 or 4 minutes, but it wasn't too long, and they did put another multi-experience on for that one that we lost. So we're actually going to DCA this evening, and we've got now 2 of those multi-experience passes that we can use. So the boys wanted to do Autopia. We didn't get to, but we're going to have another chance. But we got another multi-experience for tonight. Star Tours was the last ride we did after that. We were able to do an immediate lightning lane for that as soon as we scanned in at Autopia. And so me and the boys did Star Tours. That's good as always. Enjoyed that. And then on the way back to the hotel, we stopped in downtown Disney for a little lunch at the taqueria at Tortilla Joe's. So the quick service there. Didn't have too bad of a lunch there. So for lunch, I had the carnitas, a bowl with rice and beans and the carnitas pork, which was really, really tasty. The guy said that was a really good choice when I picked it. And so that bowl was good. Also had some chips and salsa. Really liked their two variations of salsa they had. The verde was really good. Rest of the family enjoyed their meals okay, some more than others. But it was a nice little option. There was not crowded at all. Easily found a table on the patio and had a good lunch. So we came back to the hotel just to relax a little bit this afternoon. We were back here by about 1 o'clock. So we'll take about a 4-hour break or so. And then we'll catch up with you at DCA this evening. All right, checking in here from California Adventure. We got in here about 5 o'clock and did Monsters, Inc., which is a cool little ride with a lightning lane, and then Soarin' with a lightning lane. So we're going to do those both pretty quick. With lightning lanes we'd stacked throughout the afternoon. We had dinner at Pym Test Kitchen, which was really, really good. At least the adult meals were good. I don't know that my kids loved it a whole lot, but the pretzel we got was really good. The peanut butter and jelly with bacon I thought was really good. And then we did a couple of things. We did an animation academy, got to draw Lightning McQueen. My kids really enjoyed that. One of them is really into drawing, so that was cool. We did a dance party in front of Guardians of the Galaxy, so that was fun. And then we just walked over here and did Incredicoaster with one of our multi-experience fast passes we made this morning. Pretty busy evening, but we're going to slow down a little bit now and go use a lightning lane at Web Slingers. So we'll check in a little bit. All right, well, coming to you back live here, kind of going to be the final update of the day. We are back at the Disneyland Hotel here after our first full day and had a fantastic first day in the parks at Disneyland. I think after we last updated you, we had been on Incredicoaster, and we went over and did Web Slingers. We had a lightning lane stacked for that we had booked earlier in the day, and we did that. Did get a couple snacks in there for the kiddos, and then headed back over to Incredicoaster. The kids wanted to go again with one of our multi-experience passes that we had built up in the morning from some rides being shut down. So we did Incredibles again, this time after dark, and it was awesome again. So love Incredibles, and the kids are loving it. And at that point, we headed out towards the exit to the park. We stopped and got the boys wanted a fruit bar and from the ice cream stand. So we did that. And then we did exit via the Grand Californian. We're coming back to Disneyland Hotel. That just takes a few steps off of the walk. Instead of going out the front exit of DCA, we went through the Grand Californian and ended up back over here at the Disneyland Hotel. It was a great first day. And again, we thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this podcast about our time at Disneyland. We're going to have 3 more coming your way. This is part A of our trip. We'll do some daily updates again tomorrow. As we tour the Disneyland parks again, we're going to try to get on Radiator Springs Racers in the morning. So stop by for that update. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're watching or listening on YouTube, this is not a video episode. We apologize for that. Just doesn't work the nature of these updates. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there and like the video and hit that notification bell. We thank so much for being a part of the Travel Buzz podcast, and we will talk to you next time. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Travel Buzz podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you check out all of our shows each week, either on YouTube at Big Dreams Travel or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you click the notification bell so that you know when we post new episodes or videos. I'm John Arthur. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful week and have fun planning those future dream vacations.